and welcome back to my channel. This is Rika here and I'm here to help you elevate your life to just getting 1% better every single day. Can you believe it, guys? We are almost at the end of the year. I cannot believe how fast this has gone. But before ending the year, we still have 2 months left. And in those 2 months, we are gonna go crazy. And you know what? We're doing the same thing because we have 2 months left. Instead of waiting until the new year begins, try to focus on building your goals now and building your dream life. At that point, you'll be 2 months ahead of everybody else and you are gonna be so much more in a better place by the 1st of January. So let's get started with this video because I've been wanting to talk about this for the longest time. Okay, so first of all, you guys are already in fall and everything is gonna be a little bit more darker outside. It's getting colder, it's getting more gloomy, and you know what? This is the perfect time to just lock in and work towards becoming the best version of yourself. If you're still struggling with finding the perfect routine or perfect lifestyle, the way you live your life every single day, if you still struggle with that, this video is for you. Because in this video, we are gonna dive into what you can actually do to improve your routines and how you can create the perfect routine for yourself. And creating the perfect routine doesn't necessarily has to be something that is done throughout the first week or something. You don't create a routine throughout a week, you create it over a longer time. So if you already start now creating that routine, by the end of the year, you will have that routine and it will stick with you. So yeah, you will already have that routine before the end of the year. And that way you will start your year with that routine instead of waiting until the new year and start your new routine then, because then it will take 2 months more or even more than that to just create that routine. So I'm gonna give you practical tips and strategies that you can use when you try to create that perfect routine for you. And I would just want to say, remember one thing, creating the perfect routine for you doesn't necessarily have to be something that others do. So try to figure out how you can take my tips and implement it in your way as well, because it needs to work for you or it's not gonna work. So yeah, let's get into it. First thing is you need to understand your goals. You need to have an understanding of what is your goals, where do you see yourself, what is your lifestyle that you wish to live, and just have an understanding of what did not work. I'm pretty sure that all of us out here had made a vision board in the beginning of the year. So take a look at that as well. Take a look at that. Did it actually work? Did it work the way that you wanted to? And what did you achieve and what didn't you achieve? And if you didn't achieve, was there a reason why you didn't achieve it? Or was it just not because it's not aligning with where you want to go anyways? So try to have a think about where is it you're going in life and what is it that you want with it. So think about it for a second and try to make a new vision board and a new set of goals that you want to achieve from now on and forward. The second thing is that we need to build our routines. And I cannot say this enough. If you don't have a fixed routine, and it's gonna sound boring, and maybe it is for some people, but you know what? A fixed routine is gonna make a difference. That's where you build your goals, that's where you are consistent and you are disciplined. And that will make the biggest difference of all. Try to build a routine for every single aspect of your life. So first of all, start with a morning routine. Build a morning routine that works for you, that makes you happy, that makes you want to wake up every single morning and just start your day with so much more energy. So start to figure out what makes you happy the first thing in the morning. What can you do to make you become that person that you want to become? If you are someone who wants to wake up early every single day, well, try to figure out how can you do that and what is stopping you from doing that right now. So consider every single aspect in your life. First of all, start with your morning routine. Your morning routine is the most important thing of everything. If you don't have a consistent morning routine, if you don't have a specific morning routine, things in your morning routine, just rituals that you do every single day that just boost that energy, if you don't have that, it will set a negative tone for the rest of the day. And I cannot say this enough, it really will. So you need to make sure that you have a consistent morning routine that just gives you that energy, because it will set the right tone for the rest of the day. Second thing is, if you are working or if you're in school, you need to have a routine for that as well. When are you okay, if you are in school, when are you studying? What time of day do you study? Do you have classes? What is your routines before class? What is your routines after class? The same thing goes for if you're working. What is your routine before work? What is your routine at the minute you finish work? What is your routine when you are at work? Do you have routines at work that makes everything easier for you? If you have a work where you're gonna be stressed all day, is there any routine that you can take back from that and not be stressed? So try to figure that out. What is your routine around your work, around your school, or anything you do in your life? Try to figure out that routine and how do you work best. Because if you're someone who works from home all the time, are you working in bed? Are you working right in front of the TV? Like anything, you need to figure out what is your routine and what is it that you see yourself go to. The third thing you need to have a routine around is your physical activity. And you need to have this as a routine. If you're someone who don't want to work out in the gym or anything else, don't do that. But you need to have a routine where you can be physically active. Because you know what, there are so many benefits in just moving your body. And it doesn't have to be at the gym. It could be walking. It could be going outside and walking for 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes even. Just walking, being physical active can give you so much more energy in your mind and fuel your soul, and just give you that much energy to become whatever you want to become. So try to have a routine around it. If you're someone who don't really want to go to the gym, then figure out, do you need to have a 30 minutes walk after you eat? Every time you eat, you will go outside for 10 minutes, 30 minutes. Like whatever it is, try to figure out a routine for this. If you're someone who wants to have a consistent workout plan, do a routine. Find a routine that works for you and create that. The fourth thing you need to have a routine around is how you eat, what you eat, because the most energy comes from if you have a consistent eating habit. And I'm not saying that you need to eat healthy if that's what you want. Of course, eating healthy there's so much more benefit in eating healthy. So I would definitely recommend that. But if you want to have a balanced diet, have that as well. But you know what? You need to find food that gives you energy. Because what I really learned was that you can eat some kind of food, but how do you feel afterward? That is the thing you need to figure out. Are you filled with energy after you eat? Or are you really tired? Or do you just want to take a nap afterwards? You need to figure out the food that gives you energy. So yeah, just try to build a routine out of your eating habits as well, because if you are someone who always orders takeout or shop last minute for groceries, first of all, you will not have a consistent meal plan. You will not have a consistent eating habit, because sometimes I did this so much before. Whenever I was hungry, like I would wait until the minute I was hungry to actually take an action for what I needed to cook, instead of actually had that plan beforehand. So try to build a routine out of your eating habits as well, because it's so important. If you don't fuel your body with the right kind of food, you will get so much more exhausted and you would not have the energy to go to where you want to go. Not only do you need to focus on your body, you need to also focus on your mental health and your well-being. And in that case, whenever you build your routines and try to navigate through building healthier habits that you're not used to, there's a lot of things that comes with that. Being disciplined comes with a lot of things as well. So you need to figure out how you can navigate through that and being in a better mindset. So the first thing I would always recommend, that I've always said, is that you need to learn to set boundaries, because if you're not setting boundaries for yourself, you are more likely to step back into whatever you were before than going forward. So whenever you create your routine, you need to set boundaries. What I do is if I have scheduled down that this time is gonna be for me, or this time I would do that, I would more likely just put it in my calendar. I would tell people that I don't have time at this point because I'm doing this for myself. So you need to set boundaries. Not only do you need to set boundaries for others, you need to set boundaries for yourself as well, because sometimes we are the ones that say, oh, I'm just tired, let me just watch this series today. Instead of saying, you know what, if I just give myself some kind of energy boost, I would have a 1 hour work session. That would be enough. 30 minutes, that would be enough, you know? So try to figure that out as well, because saying no to others and saying no to yourself is super important. And that will actually help you to avoid being burnout. Because sometimes when we are so focused on creating a perfect routine, we are creating the perfect life for yourself, and some people come into your life and say, oh, do you want to go out for that cup of coffee, or do you want to hang out tonight? But what you really want to do is, you want to be everywhere, but you also want to be there for yourself, and that would just cause a lot of burnout, because not only are you going through changes while you're trying to create the perfect routine, you also take in a lot of plans, and that would just lead to burnout. Because you're so focused on becoming a better version of yourself and becoming that person that you want to become, and at the same time you want to be there for everybody else, but that would just cause burnout, because if you do something with others and it holds you back from doing something for yourself, you feel stressed. So yeah, try to figure that out. It's super important to say no sometimes, and you're not gonna hurt anybody's feelings but yourself, to be honest. If somebody is upset because you said no to them, let them be, let them be, because you are the most important thing in the end. And yeah, just try to remember that. For your well-being, what really worked for me is nature. Being in nature, there is so much benefits in just going outside, smelling the fresh air, especially around this gloomy time we are in. There's nothing more cozy than just going for a walk in the forest or anything else. So I really recommend connecting with nature, because it gives so much more joy and it gives so much more peace sometimes. And if you're someone who loves to go for walks, do that, because there's so much more energy from the outside than it is staying home all day. And I'm not gonna say it's easy. If you are a homebody like me, you love to be home. I really love to be home as well. But sometimes I can really feel that if I haven't been out all day, I can really feel that what I need is to just get that fresh air in. Another thing you can do for your well-being is some kind of mindfulness, or some kind of like taking your mind off, because you are going through a lot of changes. You are trying to figure out how to live that life you want to live. It can be hard being disciplined and all of that. It can really exhaust you at some point, because you need to move past that hard period of time before you enter that reflecting joy and peace that comes in the other side. So it's gonna be exhausted, and you need to figure out how to get your mind at peace. And if you are an overthinker, this is definitely gonna help you as much as it helps me, because just taking a few moments with some kind of mindfulness, it doesn't have to be guided. It could be just listening to music, just like slow mindful music, just trying to get your mind off of anything around you and just be connected with your body for a second, and your presence. That is really super important, so I would definitely recommend that as well. So the last thing that I want to say in this video is, as much as you want to become the best version of yourself, you want to create the perfect routine for yourself, and you just want to become that version that you always seen, you know what? You need to be aware that being so disciplined shouldn't lock you in that position. Sometimes we just had a bad day. Sometimes we think that waking up at 5 a.m. every morning is the thing for us, but if we are not the type of person who wants to wake up at 5 a.m. but maybe 7 a.m. every single day, maybe that's okay as well. When you're in that state of creating the perfect routine for yourself, you need to figure out what is perfect for you and not what is perfect from what others say. So just because you see a lot of people waking up at 5 a.m., that doesn't necessarily have to mean that it's good for you. That's what I said in the beginning of the video as well. You need to figure a routine that works specifically for you. And in that position, creating that routine, creating that perfect routine, you just need to be flexible. You need to be open about that. Sometimes things work, sometimes they don't. Sometimes you have a bad day, you are just really tired, and sometimes that's okay. I would definitely recommend you experiment with different kind of routines and different kind of habits that you want to improve. So setting that routine, you try to figure out what works for you. That's what I said in the beginning of the video as well. This is not something that you are done with in a week or two. It's not the case. You are not gonna figure your perfect routine in 2 weeks. That's not gonna happen. What is gonna happen is it's gonna take more than that. It's gonna take an amount of time to just figure out what works for you, because what is working for me doesn't necessarily work for you, and what is working for you doesn't necessarily work for me. And that's why you need to be experimenting. What is it that works for you, and what kind of habits do you want to work with, because it needs to align 100% with you before it can stick, before it can be that consistent disciplined routine. You need it to be something that aligns with your lifestyle and aligns with what you want in your life. And in all of this, because you was in your beginning, I want to see what works for me and all of that, you need to track your progress. Because sometimes we go ahead, we do all the work, but we can't really see the changes, because the changes aren't necessarily something that you see yourself. So if you want to see that progress, try to track it. Track every habit that you have, track the progress, track how you felt. Did you really do the habits that you wanted to do? Did you do it today? Did you do it for the first week, first month? What didn't work? What did work? And all that. Because if you track your progress, if you track every single thing that you are trying to improve, you will see exactly where it went wrong and exactly where it went right. Especially if you are on your period, for example, there's a time where you have more energy than sometimes, and if you are in your lower energy days, sometimes your routines just are different on those days than they are on your super energy days. So you need to reflect on that as well. So have a progress, figure out where did it go right, where did it went wrong, and what made it went wrong, and what can you do instead on those days. So you really need to reflect on that. So track your progress over all of this to create the perfect routine for yourself. So yeah, that was actually it for this week's video, and I hope you guys liked it. And I just want to say, now is the time, as I said, and as in the beginning, as I said during the video as well, this is the time you can use to just improve your routines, create that perfect routine you want to create, because it's gonna take a lot of time. You're not the perfect person within a week or 2 weeks. If you really want it to stick for the rest of your life, then you need to make sure that it really aligns with you from every single aspect. And you know what? I know you got this, so don't worry. Everything is gonna be perfect. You just need to work towards being that better person than you were yesterday. And remember one thing, don't compare yourself to others. If you want to compare yourself to anything, compare yourself to yourself and how you were yesterday, or even the person you were 2 months ago. Do that instead and see yourself improve every single day. That was it for this week's video, and I hope you guys liked it. If you did, please leave it a thumbs up, and I would love to hear more about what kind of videos you guys want to see. And if you want daily self-care tips, self-love tips, go ahead and follow me on my social media as well. I have linked my TikTok and Instagram below. That was it, and I hope to see you guys next time.